Hi, I'm Daphne from Daps Makeup, and today I'm excited because, I've started like a new series. I'm calling it like What's New, because normally my typical review videos are where I concentrate on a particular brand and particularly a particular collection in which I bought several pieces from that collection, and then, we break it all down. But sometimes I just don't buy a whole collection. I buy individual pieces from multiple of brands, and maybe those items are not items that I feel on its own deserve a full-length review video, but I've amassed enough of a bunch of different products that together I think it's worthy to talk about, and I thought maybe you might be interested to know my opinion on these items that have entered my collection. And so it's just a mishmash of different products from different brands. But, I just figured, let me just tell you new items that have come out this year that I've tried out and let you know what I think. So we got brands like Prada, Mcgrath, Guerlain, Huda Beauty, One Size, Maybelline, Elemis, Chanel, Armani, just to name a few. Now, in this little look that I put together, I did use some of these products. And so I did do a quick get ready with me where I use a few of these products on camera. So let me show you, just in action how some of these products work. And then we're going to break it down, each one, what I've been thinking of these products. So I'm really excited to talk about these products with you. All right, so we're going to do a get ready with me today, just using some new products that have come into my collection. Now, I already started my makeup, as you can see. I did my base. It was the Tier a new liquid foundation in 43N. Concealer is Natasha Denona Y12. Under eye powder is One Size, the pink one. For the rest of my face, I use the Chanel loose powder in 121, sorry, 121. I have to remember that, 121. On the eyes, I went back to the OG Prada palette. Remember this one? So that's what's on my eyes, and liquid eyeliner from Lisa Eldridge. But that's it. So everything going forward will be new products. On the brows, pencil from Benefit. Okay. Now we're gonna get into the new stuff. So got new mascara, new bronzer, new lipstick, lip liners to use with you. So to finish off the eyes, we're gonna go with mascara and go from there. For eyes, I have the Armani Vertical Lift Mascara. I believe I actually already put up a shorts dedicated to the mascara. So if you haven't already seen that, you can just see in short version, but we'll just do it here today for this eye look. So I'm going to first start with my bottom lashes. I think this mascara is particularly great for the bottom lashes, in my opinion. So mascara, no mascara. And then I'm going to apply it to the upper lashes. I went ahead and did this eye, but I'll do the top lashes on this eye on camera with you. I went off camera and I added bronzer to my face. It is the new Farah Homidi bronzer. Don't worry, there is a video dedicated specifically to this bronzer, so check that out. But here's just a preview of the bronzer on my face. But you can see the application and my full review in that other video. Now, normally I do blush before highlighter, but I'm going to do highlighter first this time, just so that you can hopefully best appreciate the highlighter and you don't have any blush to get in your way. So this is the deepest shade in the new Prada highlighter. I hope you can appreciate the highlighter there versus no highlighter. Highlighter. Put it on my nose area, middle of my forehead. If you can see that shine, the chin. So cheek, no cheek. Now we're going to do on this side to even things out. I will give you my opinion of this highlighter at the end, but that is the application. Let me go add some blush. So yeah, I went ahead, added a Gucci Soft Red blush on, and just my normal Chantecaille finishing powder. So this is the look. Let's just add a little bit more highlighter for fun. Why not? Why not? This is one that I don't have to like worry about too much being too much, honestly. All right, let's go to the lips. Now, I've recently gotten 3 lip liners that I'll ultimately be talking about, but I'm only going to use one today. Now, I have a dedicated shorts video to the application of this one, so go ahead and watch that video. Between these two, I'm going to go with Divine Brown, giving you a heads up. This one's my favorite shade, so that's what I'm going to go with. But don't worry, you'll get swatches of them both, and I'll tell you my full opinion. So let's do Pat McGrath's new formulated lip liners in the shade Divine Brown, and I'll move closer. Oh, you can see this. Okay, good. Now we're in focus. So it's a beautiful shade of brown, pigmented. I like to kind of get the corners in so things are just kind of blended. I don't like any stark lines. All right, so it is lipstick time. Look at this gorgeous lipstick case. Oh my God. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, we'll talk about it more, but let's just put the lipstick on. This is one of the new shades, 819. Let's just put it on the lips. I'm using it with the Pat McGrath lip liner. But I think this is a great shade, great lip combo. They just blend well together. This look is about done, but one last thing is back to the brows. Even though I did use the Benefit pencils in my brows, I do like to use like a brow gel a lot of times to just finish off the brow look. So I'm using a new one from Maybelline. This is the Superfluff brow gel. So this is what it looks like. I got in like the dark brown, I think. I'll let you know the shade, but it's like the second to last, deepest, I think. You know, this is a one that will just give a little bit more prominence to the brows. Kind of maybe fill in maybe some areas I might have missed with the pencil. But it does give a very fluffy look to my brows, just like it said it would. And they say the word soft and fluffy, and that's the truth. It doesn't leave my brows feeling crunchy. Like some brow gels leave you feeling very crunchy and hard. These do not. But this just gives some more prominence to my brows, fullness. That fluffy look, which I think is kind of in now for the brows. It's always been my look. All right, yeah, so, oh, there's one more thing I gotta do for this look. Might be done with, you know, the typical makeup products, but when I'm done with my look, I have to end with setting spray. Normally my go-to is Charlotte Tilbury, but I've been actually getting into one size. I already own their mini and the original, but they came out with a new SPF. So I had to try that out. When you get it, I don't know if you can appreciate it, but there's a lock, and then you gotta turn it to the unlock. So I'm gonna step back a little bit, spray my face, and then. All right. Yeah, I believe you're supposed to go in big circular motions there. As you can see, it sounds and kind of feels like hairspray. But this is the final look. All right, so let's get together and let me tell you my final thoughts on all these products. All right, I hope you found that video helpful. So let's go through these products, some of which you got to see in this video, some of which you might have seen if you follow my shorts or follow me on Instagram. I've been posting there prior to this video. And then there's a couple items that I haven't been posting at all that I'll tell you a little bit about them as well. Let's first start with the Prada highlighter. So Prada has come out with 3 highlighters. I got the deepest shade. And so this is what the outer package looks like, which looks very similar to the eyeshadow palette, and it's meant to be refillable as well. When you get inside the palette, and it does have a nice mirror, it's got that triangular embossing, that logo that we are well known for Prada, and this is the shade. I was going back and forth if I was going to get this at all, because this is a really expensive highlighter, really expensive, and it was like, was it worth paying all that much money? And especially, I had already gotten the sense watching some reviews, people were loving it, but they were all emphasizing that it's very kind of subtle, natural, and so it's like, ooh, don't want to spend that much for a highlighter that might not show up enough for me or for my preferences, my likings. It took a lot for me to bite the bullet and get this palette. So I actually ended up using my Sephora points so that I would not feel the guilt of spending that much on a highlighter. So let me let you know if I think it is worth it. And I was, I ended up going with the deeper shade. I was really debating the pink shade. I ended up going with this one. I guess it's a safer one for my skin tone, but also I just recently bought the Chanel pink tone highlighter. So I felt this was better for what I needed based on my recent purchases. So let me get a little bit closer so you can see the highlighter on my skin tone. So it definitely shows up. It's buildable. But yeah, this is definitely the one thing I'm going to say about this highlighter. This is for the person who does not want any type of glitter to their highlighter. There is no glitter particles whatsoever. This is the smoothest highlighter that you can get. This gives you the glow from within type of look. I do have the ring light on. I'm even gonna turn off the ring light so you can totally see it in natural lighting. I'm sitting in front of a window, so I do have natural lighting hitting against my face. But there it is. I'm gonna put the ring light back on. But yeah, so I hope you can appreciate that it gives a very smooth, natural glow. It gives more shine than it does sparkle. There's very little sparkle to this. So let me just swatch this for you on camera. I hope you can appreciate this, but that's what it looks like. It's the smoothest formula you're gonna find. But yeah, it gives you that shine, but there's just, highlighters is typically some sparkle to it, some glitter. There is no sparkle. It's just shine, but no sparkle. Now, my thoughts, when I was using it, one of the highlighters I had in mind when I was trying to think what could I compare it to, it made me think of the highlighters that came out from Fenty from last year, which it looks like they might be discontinued. When I try to look for them on Sephora, they are not there, which is such a shame because these were my favorite highlighters from last year, so I'm happy I got it when I did. My favorite is particularly this shade called Yum Rum. I'm going to swatch it. It's still different, but it's that kind of a vibe. So this is the ones from Fenty. And, this was them also trying to tone themselves down, because I really feel like, highlighters now, we're going for more of a natural glow rather than the really high shine of the 2010s. But even, you can even compare, even though this is for Fenty, a more toned down highlighter, compared to the Prada, you could see there's still some more shine to that. I have another one from Fenty. It's not so much I'm showing to compare the shades. It's not that. It's more, I just want you to see And I'll see if maybe I can even post some pictures. Even these still shine a little bit more. They're not glittery, but yeah, like Prada is really subtle, but it's beautiful actually. It's actually really pretty. So you just have to really be for that vibe, that glow from within. So if you're more into a more toned down highlighter, then it's beautiful. But yeah, she's very pricey. That's a lot to spend on a highlighter. Like I said, because I use my Rouge Points, so I don't have to feel the guilt. But I know it's a tough choice if you really have to go out of pocket for this highlighter. But I can't lie, like it really gives this beautiful glow from within, like I said. And I built up a few layers, so you can be as subtle as you want, or you can try to build it up just so it can show out more on the skin tone. So this is beautiful. You know, I think the pink one would have worked on me as well. Maybe if I build up my points up again, maybe I'll get it. But I'm just not sure if I want to pay out of pocket for another one. But I actually do like the highlighter. Next, let's talk about Guerlain. So Guerlain came out with new lipstick cases. You know, they always come out with these lipstick cases and new lipstick shades. But I'm a sucker for the lipstick cases. That's what they get me. If I see a lipstick case that I like, they'll get me from that. And then I'll buy a new lipstick shade. But it's always the case that gets me. So they came out with a couple of different other styles, which are pretty. But this is the one that just drew my eye. You know, I love greens and blues. So it's just gorgeous. It's very smooth. Like, this fabric, and it's like a fabric, but it's smooth, but the gold part is also a little slightly raised, so you can feel the difference for this gold part, but then the smooth fabric. The one thing, you know, luxury products, you know, sometimes these luxury brands be asking a lot of money and then not coming through with the level of packaging. We end up just paying just for the name. Here you are getting, like, it's worth it if you care much about packaging, because this thing is weighty. This is not like some print on sticker. No. Like, beautiful fabric used for this. I love that you can then open it up and it's a mirror, and it's a real mirror that you can use. You know, normal twist up for the lipstick. But no, I've definitely, like, I did it again here. I definitely have used this. I have used this mirror, you know, like at work or whatever, to reapply, and it's a good mirror. So the shade, I got one of the new shades, and this is 819, I think. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. Here is a swatch of the shade, and I think it's just a really pretty shade on my skin tone. No regrets, because I'm here for the packaging, and they don't disappoint. I do like Guerlain's matte lipstick formula. It's a creamy formula. It's nice. Trying to think what I might relate it to. Maybe Mcgrath, maybe? I don't know. But it's a nice formula. I'm not saying it's going to beat out Prada and Lisa Eldridge, but it's a good formula. So I like it, and I love the shade, love the packaging. I did have a subscriber ask me if how this shade compared to the previous one from the last collection, but they didn't tell me what shade specifically that they were referring to. What I'll just show you quickly, I only own 3 other Guerlain lipsticks, so I'll just show you those. I'll swatch them and then see, because I got 2 from last year, so I'll swatch those 2, and then you can judge how similar or dissimilar they are. So the other ones that I got from last year were these gorgeous sparkly cases. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So this one I love. Look at that lipstick picture. I'll write down the name. I'll write down the number over here when I figure out the shade. But this one is, you know, more orange tone, so that's definitely different. This one might be more similar to the one I got in this. In this case, I will write down the number name. But still, they're definitely different. This is definitely more brown, so none of these tones are anything different. And just for fun, I will show you my original Guerlain, which I had gotten a couple of years ago in the old packaging that had the silver rather than the gold. They are not interchangeable. but still very luxe. Still love this. Totally different shade. This was a very deep, no, not a good swatch, but a deep brown shade. But those are my Guerlain lipsticks. Love them all. I do love their matte formula, but obviously the case. Oh, I own one other one. It was in the blue Peacock, but it was a metallic pinky shade, like a metallic satin. I prefer their mattes, but these are my matte Guerlain lipsticks. Since we've been talking about lipsticks, let's talk about lipstick liners. So, two different brands that I recently purchased from, Pat McGrath and Huda Beauty. Let me start with Pat McGrath. This is a classic, you know, I've loved hers. You know, I guess these are new reformulation. I can't think about, like, is this better or worse? I mean, I loved them before, and I'm going to tell you, I love them now. I didn't have a problem with them before. I don't know if there's really a difference, to be honest, but I equally love the old formula, new formula. To be honest, I'm not sure if there's really a difference. I got the two deepest brown shades. I will show you, I'll do live swatches here, but on Instagram, I posted swatches of these both on my arm like I'm doing right now, and I also did them on my lips. I can tell you these swatches, like the ones that I did from before, they have been, like when I do the arm swatches, they are transfer proof, they are long lasting. Even when I was trying to use like micellar wipes, they don't come off. I have to use real eye makeup remover to remove them, so they're definitely long lasting. So I love these. They glide on smoothly. They are long lasting. So these are one of the best lipstick liner formulas. Yeah, Pat definitely came through the formulas. Chef's kiss. But I'm just doing these swatches again on the inner part of my arm. I want to show you that they are transfer proof. The only problem is the other side of my arm is a little bit wet from, I've been wiping my arm with makeup remover, you know, when I did the lipstick swatches. So to prove to you that they're transfer proof, can't do it on my wet arm from makeup remover. So, all right. So now I can show you that these are transfer proof. They don't rub, they don't swatch, transfer proof. And trust me, they are long lasting. So definitely worth every penny. Now the other one that I decided to get, where Pat McGrath, I already know the brand, I know the formula, I knew that there was no risk involved in getting Pat McGrath. But Huda Beauty, you know, this was new for me, and especially the formula is kind of unique, or at least unique to me. It's her lip contour lip stain. So they're different because we're so used to lip pencils. You know, sometimes they might be more creamier, more pencil-like, you know, that kind of thing. But this is not like a pencil. This is like a marker. Like, it's got a felt tip. And there we go. And look at that gorgeous color. I have a shorts where you get to see me apply it. So I know I didn't use it today. I use Pat McGrath's Divine Brown on my lips. But these this is actually really great. And it's just different. It is long lasting. I can tell you the first time I ever used it, I put it on my lips and then I had put like a lip gloss or something on top. I ate, the gloss came off, but I still left the stain. So they're definitely long lasting. So these are long lasting as well. Although it's applying actually very nicely today. Sometimes I, you know, when I've been using these a couple times, sometimes I was worrying, like, was it getting dry? Was it drying out? You know, it being a marker. So I don't know. So I still like the reliability of the pencil. Maybe I'm just old and you know how we don't like to change. As we get older, we tend to like what we like and not to change, and we get scared of trying something new. But what I will say is this shade, Rich Brown, as you can see, it's a gorgeous shade. I like the depth of the shade, and it actually is a good formula. It's, you know, it's just different, using something that's like a marker rather than like a pencil. But yeah, I'm going to keep using it, and, you know, especially at the end of the year, I'll formulate my thoughts even more. I want to get a sense of, my only concern, and I just have to watch and see, is just make sure, like, does this dry out? How long would this really last? With a pencil, you know exactly how long that pencil is going to last, and they last a long time. We'll just have to see with the marker. But great color, great shade, and it is truly long lasting. Now let's get closer to the eyes this time, but I didn't buy any new eyeshadows. Well, not an eyeshadow that's worthy to put in this mishmash of a video. Like, I have my dedicated Lisa Eldridge eyeshadow, and I think eyeshadows, they always deserve their own video. So just, what do we use to help enhance the eye look? Eyeliners and brow products. Now, I do have a shorts video of this, so you can see me apply it. This is the Armani Vertigo Lift. Let me get a little bit closer. So this is it on my eyes. I think it's especially great for the lower lash line. I think that's where I love it the best. I did use it on the upper lash line. This is for lengthening, so it does what it does. Lengthens, separates, lifts. It's not a volumizing. It's a lengthening mascara. But I like it. It's nice. And then I got a new brow product. I haven't changed up my brow gel in a long time. I've been using a brand called Gen C for a while. Before that, I think I was using like Benefit or Too Faced. But Maybelline, I know I'm, a sucker for luxury, but I do sometimes get some drugstore, and I did get the Maybelline one. I think it's the perfect name. It's called Superfluff Brow Mousse, but it definitely gives my brows a fluffy appearance. And what's also nice is that, like, generally speaking, it still feels pretty soft. Sometimes when you use gels, they make them, it leaves your brow hairs feeling very, like, rough and hard and like rock candy kind of a thing. So yeah, I think the two big things I takeaways from the Maybelline version is one, like I said, it leaves the brow hair still kind of soft and fluffy rather than being like hard rocks. And to go with that is just the wand for brows. I think this is pretty big and wide for a brow hair brush, because I'm going to show you, like, this is an indie brand called Gen Z, but you can see how much smaller this brush is. They both work, but I think this Maybelline version, it being as large as it is, it promotes the brow hairs to be big, wide, and fluffy. I think, gone are the days where, there was a period of time, where we're about skinny brows, and then it was about being really, like, straight line laced, sculpted brows. But now it's about having big, fluffy, natural, more looking brows, which I kind of like, because, to be honest, I never really went with those trends. I always generally, I've been lucky. I have full brows, and I've never tried to, like, trim them down really. I always want to kind of maybe shape them up a little bit, but I always like them to be free, so it goes with my normal brow hair look, but that is just going with the trend. So I'm liking it, and obviously it's a great affordable price. Let's talk about nails. I'm going to just stray away from the face just for a minute. I got a couple Chanel nail polishes. If you know me, I love Chanel nail polish. I don't know what it is, but I'm a sucker for them. So they came out with 6 different limited edition shades for the summer. Big difference, I guess. Your way to know the limited edition is that the caps this year are silver, not the normal black. So this is the silver caps. I went to go pull out one of my older Chanel nail polishes just to show you the difference in the caps. And normally, as you can see, it's normally a matte black case, and then this time we got a shiny silver one. Here's the tops. So this is how they compare. So that's how you know there's a difference. I pulled out a purple one just in case you're curious, because I think this might have come out last year. If not last year, the year before. Either last summer or the last summer before. Definitely a unique purple compared to the previous year. I've just been getting into Chanel these last few years. But for my personal collection from Chanel, this is a unique purple shade. So this is called Magnetic Muse. Now, I just bought, I hesitate a little bit about buying this because I had just bought a luxury purple nail polish this year. And that was Hermes. And I was like, here I am, back-to-back purple. I usually, try to pick different shades. But trust me, they are actually different. You can tell from the bottle. And the big thing with Hermes is that the nail polish always looks much darker. So it's not this light on the nails. On the nails, it's actually darker. So this is actually a dark purple, a dark grape purple. But this one you can see it has more of a metallic kind of, not metallic, I would say pearlescent. Look to it. So it's not like a matte kind of nail polish like this. And the shade is definitely different. I'll show you pictures. So, like I said, I got two. I got 2 out of 6. Let me tell you about these shades because I'm happy I went in store. I had debated back and forth about ordering online and decided to go in store. I'm happy I did. Because one thing you should be aware, obviously I'm happy with what I got, but there's something you should be aware about. These ones are very sheer. These particular shades are sheer. And so one coat is not going to do it. I went in store. I posted online. I'll show you here. So I went in store and I did one coat in store. And if you're squinting your eyes and going, I can't really see it. It's not just the poor lighting. I know the lighting's not the greatest in store, but it is mainly because these are really sheer, and so you can barely see a lot of these shades. The ones that I felt were the most pigmented were these two. This one I had on my pinky in that picture, and this one I had on my thumb. Now I went ahead and did a second coat when I was in store, and then I walked out of the store with all five out of the 6 shades on my finger with 2 coats. You could see it better with 2 coats. I recommend 3. So I ended up, today I'm wearing the shade Golden Mermaid 403. And this is after putting 3 coats. 3 coats. But I think this is such a pretty color, and I like the pearlescent formula to it. So I think it's fun for the summer instead of a deep matte shade. I think, having, these nice color, reflective fluorescent colors. So yeah, I'm wearing this right now, and then probably another week or 2, I'll switch over to the purple. But go in store if possible, if you can, if there's a Chanel boutique near you. Although when I went in store, this one, I had got the last one, and when I last checked, I'll double check, but when I last checked online, this was out of stock, and the top coat one, this one and the other 4 shades were still available, but I think they're going fast, and there are limited editions, so if you are interested, I would order sooner rather than later, just because I don't know how long they're going to last. But for me personally, my favorite were this one and this one. I think especially if you have a deeper skin tone, if you want one that's deeper and will look nice, I think, against our skin tone. That's what looked the best to me. The orange one was nice too. And maybe the pink one, if I had put 3 or 4 coats, maybe then I would have appreciated it more. But just based on what I saw in store, I just decided to let those go. They're not cheap, so I wasn't really interested in buying more than 2 nail polishes. I'm winding down. Now we're going to get into a little bit more skincare kind of products. I'll make it quick. I wanted to talk about the new One Size setting spray. This is actually my second time getting a setting spray because I do have the original. I bought them both in minis because I'm just getting used to them. I didn't want to buy full size to see if I really like them. I still have full size like Charlotte Tilbury. Totally different kind of product. So the One Size, if you haven't tried them before, they are more like hairspray, honestly. They spray on like hairspray. Obviously, the new one with the yellow top, the big deal is that it's got SPF. Now, it's got SPF 28. So I would probably recommend don't necessarily rely on this to be your total SPF. I still use my Supergoop SPF moisturizer, and if I'm not using that, then I'm using my Supergoop like more like sunscreen primer. But I like to have something that has like 40 or 50 SPF, but I think it's good to add this on top. So obviously this is great for the summer. The tops are a little bit, so the original, you pull up this cap and then, you know, just spray down. This one, there's no cover, but you have to, I don't know if you can appreciate this hole, but you got to turn the dial, and then it's on to spray. And then you go spray like this in a big circular motion. These are good because it really does hold your makeup for a long period of time. I don't know. I think maybe the scent might be a little bit different. There's something about it different, but for some reason I like this one better. I don't know, like, is one lasting better? I mean, obviously this is a plus because it's got the SPF. I don't know if I like the spray better, the smell better. Something about it is that I kind of like this a little bit better. You're supposed to be able to like go in the water and it like won't touch your makeup. I haven't tried that yet. Maybe, you know, if I go to the beach this summer, I will test it out that way, and I'll update you. But I do think it does what it does. It locks in your makeup. Like I said, it feels and smells like hairspray. Just giving you a heads up. Like a Charlotte Tilbury, which has been my favorite setting spray, that is a little bit more moisturizing. So especially as a dry skin girly, I think that's the reason why I also really like Charlotte Tilbury's spray, because not only does it lock me in, but it gives a little bit, kind of refreshes my face. I'm not saying this dries me out, but it just doesn't have that added moisturize. You know, so some setting spray can be refreshing. This is not so much refreshing, but it does lock in the makeup. And, you know, I'm thinking I'm looking good. I'm looking good. Lastly, one product that I did not use on camera with you, but I'll just make it really quick. Elemis. Elemis is my go-to cleansing balm. I'm only showing this because it came out with 2 new shades, and I've tried them out this year. I've actually tried this a couple times, and I just started trying out the cherry. So this one is the fig. I just emptied it. I just kept it. I'm about to recycle it, but I saved it for you guys. Smelling this, it's kind of spa-like. You know, I guess I haven't eaten a fig, but I'm assuming it smells like a fig. But it's, yes, it's a little bit fruity, but it does have that kind of maybe a relaxing spa-like kind of smell to it. This one, black cherry. This one is sweet. This smells like cherry candy, which I do like. I have a sweet tooth, so I actually do like the smell of this. So if you like the scent, if you like sugary, sweet smelling skincare products, then you'll love this. If you're not liking things smelling too sweet, then you might prefer the fig, because this is more plant-like, spa-like, natural smelling. This smells more natural, and this smells like candy, processed candy, but it smells good. My favorite has always been the rose. I've never really been a fan, to be honest, of the original, the yellow one. I've always gotten the rose. I like rose scent. I personally like that. But I'm enjoying these new scents. It's just nice to try out new scents. They're really expensive, but they work really well. They really break down the makeup well, and they don't dry out your skin. So I love these. Even though they're ridiculously expensive, I keep repurchasing them. They are on sale right now in the Nordstrom sale, so I'd recommend if you want to give it a try. Not the scent, the original one. But if you like the original one or want to give it a try, this is a time to check out the Nordstrom sale. Now this is the end of the video, but I'm just giving you a sneak peek. I kind of alluded to during the Get Ready With Me, if I'm looking like I'm bronzed to the gods, my bronzer is thanks to the new Far Homidi bronzer. I'm not going to talk about this here because I felt like this new product deserved its own separate review, so that'll be coming out next. So Please, if you aren't already subscribed, subscribe to my channel. If you made it this far, follow me on Instagram, Daps_makeup, and check me out in the next video because we will be talking about this new brand, or at least brand to me, this new bronzer. This is the deepest shades. I'll tell you what I think about this formula and how it works on my skin tone. So check me out there. But until then, I'm just going to wish you guys a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!